Shutterstock Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Black College Experience. I am Big D in Baton Rouge out of the Valley, and I have on with me the founder of Black College Experience, Diva Kels. What's going on, Kels?
How you doing? Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing for another weekend in Black College sports?
You know I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine. It was homecoming in Itabena, and we defended our home field. I'm happy.
That's good. Good thing. We beat Jackson State, so, of course, I'm happy as well.
Yes, indeed. It's an awesome weekend of HBCU sports around the four major HBCU conferences and also our independent conferences. We here at Black College Experience are going to give you updates on all of this weekend's action.
So before we kick it off, of course, we have general things that's going on. For tonight's show, of course, we're going to talk about Southern University Human Jukebox and the $1 million deal that they inked with Raising Cane's. Of course, we're going to take it over to the CIAA. We're going to talk about the NFL that's going to host social activism at Morehouse. And also Jada Pinkett Smith that was honored at Morehouse this weekend with the HBCU Awards for people that did not know that went on this weekend down in Atlanta. We're also going to talk about the first African-American woman that became AD at UVA. And then, of course, we're going to recap with some of the games from the SWAC, the MEAC, as North Carolina A&T holds on to move on to be 8-0. Also, many homecomings over the weekend. You did have Howard and Hampton, Johnson C. Smith. So many people celebrated their homecomings. And then, of course, you have other things that happened. And in the second half, we're going to talk to coach from Southern University, that is men and women's track and field coach, Coach Charmaine Darden. So let's go ahead and kick this show off. So, of course, starting off with my alma mater, Southern University, couldn't be none the more happy for Nathan Hamer, of course, partnered up with Raising Cane's, and also Jabari Morgan, which is Morgan and Associates law firm. They did get the partnership with Raising Cane's. That's $1 million. So now, of course, this came out on Tuesday. And what's going to happen, because you have, so many articles, but in deeper detail, it's not just for the band. It's for the band. It's for the athletic department, and there also will be an endowment for academic scholarship as well. So, it's going to go a long way. $1 million, which is, more than needed at this time at Southern University. Very proud, very, very, very well deserved for Nathan Hamer and the band and everybody else that's going to actually, that's going to benefit from the $1 million that's coming over. They're actually going to spell out Cane's during the on-field performance on the last home game, which is against Prairie View on November 4th. So once again, congratulations to Southern University, the Human Jukebox, the school, the athletic department, and none other, just Cane's, and then, of course, like I said, Jabari Morgan and Associates. Really good thing.
You know something, what I think would be kind of cool, too, when they're spelling out Cane's, because everyone knows the sauce is also one of the most favorite things that people who go to Raising Cane's like to eat. So they ought to spell out Cane's and then do sauce. And the jukebox can do it. The jukebox is notorious for being able to spell out things on the field. What did you see what they spelled out this past Saturday, Kels? Did you see that?
I saw The Thief. Was it Thief? I think I saw.
It was called The Thief. One year they spelled out J.S. Who. The jukebox takes no prisoners. They weren't number one.
They take none.
They weren't number one in that band poll last week. But you know what? Amongst fans, they have no choice but to be number one for what they pulled off Saturday. No choice.
They are indeed. They are indeed a favorite. You know, you can't, without a doubt, every week they never cease to amaze me. And like I said, once again, very well deserved. So once again, congratulations to Southern University for inking that $1 million deal.
Yes, indeed. All right. So what you want to roll up to next?
The NFL to host the social activism at Morehouse. What's going on there?
Well, from the article, players and officials from the NFL will announce today a new partnership to establish a community advocacy opportunities and platforms at Morehouse College. As host for a signature initiative in this new program, it's called a social activism boot camp. And it's going to help foster relationships to improve social activism across campuses with the NFL and with HBCUs, because I think this is great. I think this is great that the NFL is partnering with HBCUs to put the word out, because we all know what's been going on in the NFL as far as social activism with the protests, and something that has been spreading to HBCUs with cheerleaders kneeling. I don't think we've had any players kneel yet, but to my knowledge, I haven't seen any articles that stated any players have knelt. But I just think it's awesome that the NFL is partnering to help boost social activism across HBCUs as far as just coming together with Morehouse. I think it's great. I can't wait to see how this program benefits HBCU student athletes and just regular students as well. Else?
We'll see how. I think it's sharing. It was spreading a message, and one of the things that being that we are African American, and being that the message is it's against police brutality and social injustice and things that are going on in the world. You can take instances where you had the issue at Kennesaw State here. You had the cheerleaders take a knee, the African American cheerleaders take a knee, and that brought talk. Then you had other people from Kennesaw take a knee, and that brought about talk. So then they had one guy out there protesting, the white guy saying, well, this is where you have to really do your research. You have to understand when you're out here protesting, you got to know what you're out here talking about. And he's going back and forth, and they're having they're debating back and forth. He tells the black guy, well, I can't pledge a black fraternity. Says who? So you can't be out there talking and protesting, and you don't know what you're talking and protesting about, because
Right.
You can join the African American fraternity. So at that point, I stopped listening.
Exactly.
I can't take you serious if you don't know what you're out there protesting about.
Well, and the thing is, to continue about the program, it will be held in February of 2018, and it will invite professional athletes across multiple sports and leagues to dialogue about advancing equity in the underrepresented communities on criminal justice and social political engagement. So, like you said, you have to have done your research. You have to know what you're talking about, and even if you don't, be able to listen and understand what this fight is really about. I mean, anyone
Right.
can have their own personal agenda in regards to improving their own social platform, but you also have to be able to listen to others' issues,
Right.
so that you can understand it's not just about
Exactly.
one individual; it's about everybody.
Exactly.
So, and we do have a caller on the line. I'm sure PP wants to talk about football. PP, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, huh?
All right. Well, we're gonna continue
Gotta
talking. You want to talk about football?
It don't matter.
All right. Well, we're gonna continue with the rest of our general stories, and I want to talk about the investment that Birmingham made in the Magic City Classic, Kels.
Before we get to that,
okay.
because we have to follow what we're doing. We have to follow that diagram. We're at Morehouse. Morehouse held the HBCU Power Awards this month, or this Friday. this Friday, Jada Pinkett Smith was honored. And again, a lot of stuff that's going on. The thing is that made this homecoming, that makes homecoming in Atlanta different from any other homecoming, is that the AUC holds homecoming together. Spelman, Morehouse, and Clark hold homecoming the same weekend. 3 schools, 3 HBCUs in one city with all this traffic. It was one of the biggest, the craziest homecomings, but it was so great to be in the mix of it. Clark did win. It's just a good time. But again, Jada Pinkett Smith, of course, they went with her experience off of A Different World. She was honored at Morehouse College on Friday, of course, with other alumni at the Martin Luther King International Chapel. And they did have other people that were nominated and honored in their honor. And they're going to do this, I'm going to say, every year. But once again, congratulations to Jada Pinkett Smith and the Morehouse HBCU Power Award that they held, which will, again, I think will be held every year in Atlanta.
Right. I think it's awesome, because we all know Jada Pinkett Smith got her start, one of her starts as far as before she became a superstar on the series A Different World, which I've been watching on Netflix because they have it all the seasons on Netflix. So I caught up on that series because I grew up watching it. It's just awesome that she's going to be awarded. And speaking of the homecomings, I didn't know that all 3 schools did homecoming together.
They do every year. Every year they do all of their homecomings together, and I promise y'all, I cannot make this up. They have, so you're Greek, Derek, you would have, they have what you call Greek row.
Uh-huh.
And all the Greeks, Morehouse, like they just have like a line of Greeks, like everybody, it's on a row. So everybody has their own thing set up, but you're in a row. So all the Greeks are, it was just bananas. But just to see that, I keep telling people, one thing you will not win an argument on me or any HBCU grad. There is nothing like a HBCU or HBCU homecoming. I am waiting on someone to try to debate that. You cannot win that argument. I don't care if you went to the biggest school or the smallest school, but there is nothing like it. And I've been to plenty of homecomings, different schools. It's just crazy, different homecomings.
Right, I definitely agree with you. I mean, homecoming at an HBCU is definitely a family affair. You don't even have to have gone to the school to enjoy yourself, and you'll feel like you went to the school. I mean, you'll come in, go to the game, go to the Greek show, partake in the campus environment as far as with the barbecues, the fellowship and brotherhood and sisterhood that occurs as you walk around the campus to visit the many areas of people tailgating, catching up with old friends, making new friends, because that is what a homecoming is about. That's what homecoming is about. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the investment that Birmingham made into the Magic City Classic. They made a $665,000 investment, and they will stand to make $22 million off of that investment. The 76th annual Magic City Classic is a football game between Alabama A&M and Alabama State. And Kels, you've gone to that game. Talk to us about your past experiences of going to the Magic City Classic.
Well, growing up, being from Huntsville, Magic City Classic has been a main thing since we were children. So I'm gonna date myself, but I'm gonna take you back in the gap when my parents were going to Magic City Classic. And when I say this is a old rival, this was back in the day when they were out there in like needling boots, they were in fur, like they were dressed to the nines to go to a football game. So it seemed like every year people were getting fancier and fancier, and it was just an old myth that it started raining every year because people were more focused on their clothes than they were on the football game. So they was kind of drawing attention away.
Well,
but
for
a while it would rain. Yeah, it will rain every year for a while, and it's kind of like everybody got back to it. But not last year, but the year before, it was raining. We got rained out. It was so nasty. And then last year it was good. And it's one of those games you have to watch all 4 quarters because you never know what's going to happen. And then, it's always a battle between A&M and Alabama State. They play each other very hard, but it was a really great game. But it is. Last year, over 80,000 people. It's one of those places, again, you have to be in the mix. I mean, it's the tailgating, it's the games, it's the Ricky Smiley show, it's the Grease show. Everything leads up to the game on Saturday, the parade and everything. And, of course, I will be in the mix. At this point, I enjoyed myself from sitting on the sidelines so much. I was like, do I really want to come? I enjoyed sometimes just being a spectator of the game. Sometimes you enjoy just being a spectator. But this was it's one of the largest, just a lot of stuff. They look forward to the Classic every year, like Southern and Grambling looks forward to Bayou Classic every year.
Right. And each university will receive $200,000 for playing in the game. And it's just awesome. I guess it's the infusion of money and travel and tourism that's going to bring to Birmingham with these 2 historic HBCUs. Alabama State not having the best of seasons. Alabama A&M competing for that East spot. But like you said, it doesn't matter what the records are in this game. Alabama State will be coming in ready to play. They're going to be fired up because this is for the Alabama State Championship in the SWAC. So, records go out the window when it comes to this game. So, all right. Up next, what's going on? Up next, I want to talk about the Mr. Excitement. Martez Carter was invited to the NFL PA Bowl. We all know who Martez Carter was. He took the SWAC by storm last year as a triple threat of a running back, out the backfield, and also special teams. He is an undersized running back, but the NFL is starting to take notice of what undersized running backs from an HBCU, namely the SWAC, can do in the NFL. Like Tariq Cohen, Carter excels at all 3 phases of the game, so he will get a chance to showcase his skills at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. I can't wait to see what this young man does on that stage, Kels.
I think it's a good thing that, once again, we're getting that notoriety. But I will always, and I keep saying this, and I will keep saying this, we need to get to a point where everyone is competitive. It's good when you can showcase someone out of an HBCU, but you want to send more than one person and out of not just the same school every time. You want to send kids. I don't care if it's from Langston. I don't care if it's from North Carolina A&T. I don't care if it's from Prairie View. I don't care if it's from Valley. You want to send students, or you want to send these athletes from every HBCU, every conference. So that way, it's okay if you're hearing Southern, Grambling, but you want to hear schools that you don't hear as often sometimes.
Right.
This is how they get notoriety. This is how they get put on the map. How many people do you think know that Langston is undefeated right now?
A lot of people don't know, but we at Black College Experience,
a lot of people do not know that school is undefeated. That's why I try my best to keep highlighting that, because a lot of people don't know that Virginia is undefeated right now.
Right.
They don't know
Virginia
that they're 7-0, and they don't know that they're 5-0 in their conference. You have to give notoriety to more than just the same people all the time. This is a good thing for him. This is a good thing that more and more of us are being exposed to the camps, to the NFL, to whatever it is that we're doing. But we have to get competitive where everyone is going to be heard. And on that note, we have to take a commercial break.
All right, we'll be right back with more Black College Experience.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. Kels, what direction you want to go in now? We'll talk about some of the scores from this weekend.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with the scores this weekend.
Right.
Let's start off with let's go ahead and start off with Grambling and Alcorn.
Well, Grambling and Alcorn have played in the last two SWAC championship games, and I can't remember if Grambling beat Alcorn in the regular season that first year, but the second year Grambling tore Alcorn up, and in the championship game Alcorn had a much better showing. Well, history repeated itself when Alcorn went to Grambling, and they did not put up much of a fight. Grambling dominated the game 41-14, which gave Alcorn its first loss in the SWAC. So Grambling sits undefeated in the driver's seat in the SWAC West. Alcorn is now tied with Alabama A&M, but this game was ugly. Alcorn had a lot of turnovers, they had a lot of penalties, and Grambling made them pay for not playing their best, Kels. PP, what do you think about the Grambling Alcorn game?
Oh, when you said the first year, Grambling beat Alcorn 35-34, and then they blew them out in the game.
PP, we kind of losing you, Frat. We kind of losing you.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, in the first year, it was Grambling beat Alcorn because of a missed field goal. Missed extra point, 35-34, and then Alcorn came back and blew them out in the SWAC championship game. That was the first year when you brought that up. But yeah, I was surprised about how Grambling did Alcorn yesterday. If they get a chance to meet again in the last SCG, I think Alcorn will make the adjustment like they did last year. So.
Right. I do agree. We don't want to blow out in the SWAC championship game. We want a competitive game because that is Kale's angle. She wants games to be competitive. Yeah, it's good to have a blowout, but you want to have that game that's going to keep everybody on their edge, in their seat, watching to see what's going to happen. That's what it was like last year because no one thought that Alcorn was going to put up a fight due to what happened in the regular season. No one thought Alcorn would put up much of a fight. But Devontae Kincaid threw for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. Martez Carter ran for over 100 yards to help Grambling get the win, and they sit in the driver's seat in the SWAC. Now, a game that we both are happy about is our homecoming game. And, of course, we were expected to win this game. Virginia Lynchburg I think they're a Division II private school. But, football still has to be played on the football field. And our Delta Devils took care of business yesterday and defeated Virginia Lynchburg, I think 53-5. That is an awesome show of dominance by our Delta Devils. PP, I didn't get a chance to go to the game. Talk about how our Delta Devils defended home field and secured a blowout homecoming victory.
It went as expected. That's all you can say about it. We had a whole lot of healthy scratches. To just be honest. Third string quarterback came in. Yeah, third string quarterback came in through for almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Third string quarterback?
Yeah, even he started the season against North Dakota State and Southern Illinois. Fowler was the number 2 quarterback, and Betts was third. Well, those roles done flipped now. So, Steven came in, threw for 4 touchdowns. Chambers had 4 touchdowns. Fowler came in mop-up duty and threw for, I think, had like 10 for 12 or about 130 yards.
148 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we have 3 viable quarterbacks. That's unheard. I know it's against Virginia Lynchburg, but to have 3 quarterbacks that can potentially produce for you on the football field, that's kind of unheard of at any level of football.
Yeah, and especially when your 2 best quarterbacks are freshmen. If we only had a running game, boy, we'd be.
Yes, indeed. All right, and the last game we're going to talk about in the SWAC before we jump over to the MEAC is going to be the Boombox Classic. And I know Kels is over there happy that her Jaguars went to Jackson, turned Jackson, Mississippi into Baton Rouge, Mississippi, as I have been seeing all on social media. The Jaguars came in and took over, defeating Jackson State 35-17. As was to be expected, Jackson State has not been able to win a football game this year, and I did not see Southern being able to beat them at all this year. I didn't think Jackson State was going to compete in this game, and now they have to come to Itabena. And after next week, they're going to be 0-8, I feel. Tough times for the Tigers. I'm not really, I want Coach Hughes to be successful, but I just don't know what's going on. I mean, he has brought a fresh infusion of talent, and with youth like that, it's going to be some growing pains, but I did not expect Jackson State to struggle the way that they're struggling. I expected Southern to win, but I just did not expect Jackson State to be struggling like they are struggling in year 2 under Hughes. What do you guys think about that? Kels, what do you think about your Jaguars taking care of business in Jackson, Mississippi?
Well, it was to be expected coming off a bye. Pretty much knew that we would go in, handle business. For some strange reason, people tend to think that because Leonard Tillery's no longer there, Willie Quinn is no longer there, that we still, I'm like, we've lost 1 game in the conference, and that was to Alcorn. I mean, after that, it's just pretty much, been uphill for us. So, they're going to handle business. Like I tell people, you still have to remember that you got a veteran quarterback that's coming back. You still have guys like Danny Johnson. You have Aaron Tiller. You still have other playmakers on the team that you have to realize that are going to pick up the slack. And at the same time, these 4 guys have been on the team, or these guys have been on the team all 4 years too. So these are also starters. So you have those people that's coming back. As far as Jackson State, really can't determine what's going to happen. One thing that I will say is that you have to be able to. You have to stick by your team, win or lose. You have to, even if you don't like a coach. We all hate our coaches at some time, be it NFL, be it our black college, be it whatever sport. But we have to stick by our teams. And I say it this once and I say it again. We, as alumni, owe it to those kids to support them because they are getting out there, whatever sport that they are playing, football, basketball, baseball, bowling, I don't care, track. We owe it to those kids to support them because they are getting out there every week doing something for the school. So we owe it to them to support them. We really do. Whether we want to or not, we owe it to them. And I don't care if you don't like your coach. You owe it to them people to support them, even if they lose it.
You are 100% correct because those young men deserve, even if they're losing, they do deserve to be supported. And we have a caller. We're going to take a quick commercial break. That is probably our guest. And when we come back from our this quick break, Kels is going to introduce our guest for the evening, and we will proceed with Black College Experience as follows. We will be right back in 25 seconds.
Are you interested in attending an historically black college or university? Hello, my name is Robert Mason. I'm president and founder of the Common Black College application. Our application allows you to apply to any number of 44 historically black colleges and universities at the same time for only $35. So visit our website at www.commonblackcollegeapp.com to apply now. Thank you, and get educated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Black College Experience, and we have a caller on the line. Caller, area code 610-65, last 4 6550. You're on with the Black College Experience. Who do we have?
Hi, this is Charmaine Darden.
All right. How you doing, Coach Darden?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing fine. Thank you for taking time to join us on the Black College Experience. Kels, take it away.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So of course, y'all know I go back and forth. Y'all know literally, I'll pick apart a whole athletic department trying to find somebody. I don't care what sport it is. Y'all know I'll do it. But tonight we do have, of course, out of my alma mater, we do have Coach, as she just said, Charmaine Darden. She is the head men's and women's cross country coach, is along with the assistant track and field coach. Now, Coach Darden is entering her third year, correct, as the men and women's head cross country coach?
Yes.
And then, of course, 4 years as the assistant track and field coach at Southern University for the 2017 and 18 season. So I'm not going to tell y'all about Coach Darden. Coach Darden going to tell y'all about Coach Darden. Go ahead, Coach Darden.
Okay, so I started coaching track 10, 11 years ago. And when I first started, I was volunteering. So the first 3 years of my career, I coached for free. And then I later moved on to coach the high school level. And then from the high school, I went to Division 2, then Division 3, and now I'm at Division 1 with Southern University.
Wow, you really worked your way up.
Yes, literally. Yes, started from the bottom.
I mean, to go from volunteering to being the head coach of multiple squads at a Division 1 school, that's quite a journey. And I know Southern University is glad to have you. Please take it easy on my Delta Devils and Devillettes when you all run against them, okay?
We'll see.
So talk to us about your year. How long have you been at Southern?
I've been at Southern. This will be my going into my fourth indoor and outdoor track season.
Okay, so talk to us about how you have grown the program. How was the program when you came to campus, and what is the state of the program now, men's and women's, track and field and cross country?
Wow. Okay, so when I first came, I came in at the end of the cross country season. So while I was actually writing the workouts up for the student athletes for cross country, I wasn't down here yet to coach them. So Coach White actually took over to coach them. So I came down at the end of cross country, and we had 2 distance females. We didn't have any distance males. So I just basically worked with the 2 distance females and the long sprinters, the 200 and 400 sprinters. So from then to now, we actually have 7 distance males, and we have 7 distance females. So we've come a long way from me having just 2 distance athletes to now having 14 in 3 years.
Yes, Cindy, that is awesome. So how did your season go this year?
This year it went very well. We finished out 2 weekends ago at the Mississippi Invitational for cross country. That was our last meet. So now we're actually working towards the indoor season now. We just started back practice last Thursday for the distance athletes, and my track athletes, they actually started practice the second week of September. So they've been going for a while.
Okay. And you're going to have meets against bigger schools. Talk to us about your chances as far as competing and getting your athletes ready to compete at those levels.
That against what type of school?
As far as competing against the schools from the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, because we know.
Okay. So we even during cross country, we go to the LSU meet. They have a meet in Highland Park every year, so we go there. So we get to race against LSU. I believe at that meet they're the only school within the big 5 conferences. But as far as track and field, every meet, well, predominantly most of the meets, we are going against schools that are within that, the Big Five conference, as they call it. So as far as preparing our athletes for that, it's just like any other competition. We want them to, practice hard. Perfect practice makes perfect. So we just go by the book, We warm up correctly. We tell them to push themselves, past the pain. And, we tell them to be confident, no matter if you're going against a D2 school or a school from the Big Five. That is, it's still the same clock. It's still the same race. It's still the same weather for everyone that's at that meet on that given day. So no one really has an advantage over anyone else. It's all about, your heart and the goals, setting the goals or accomplishing the goals that you set out for yourself.
And that's awesome advice because, like you said, it doesn't matter who you're running against. The clock starts and stops the same, and you just have to get out there on that track and field and give it your all. No matter if you're running against, like you said, a Division II school or an SEC school, and if you run your best race, anybody can be beaten. I mean, this isn't like football where you have I guess you could propose say the more physical, larger, or uberly talented athletes, because HBCU schools from the SWAC, the CIAA, the SIAC, and the MEAC have earned pro contracts all the time. They compete in the Olympics, so there's a career that can be had from competing at this level. Because when you look at the Olympic teams, a lot of the athletes, when you look at some of the Olympic, look at the CIAA. A lot of their track athletes are Olympic hopefuls, and they actually compete in the Olympics for their host countries and for the United States. These aren't athletes that are running at big schools. They're coming from HBCUs, and you have an opportunity to hopefully create the next batch of track and field hopefuls in the Olympics, because just because you are running for a Power 5 school doesn't necessarily mean that you will become an Olympian. So it's just good to have someone like you who's putting their blood, sweat, and tears into building these programs at a school like Southern, where you can get talented individuals. They just need coaching up. They just need someone to believe in them and show that, hey, we're not looked at as a threat, but we're going to show them that we are a threat. So I just want to give kudos to you for all your hard work, and you're doing it across 3 sports, and that just shows your hard work and dedication that you're willing to put in. And we need more coaches like you, Coach Darden. We need more like you. Kels?
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so Coach Darden, let's go back. Let me rewind back. So I know you talked about your transition, but let's take us back to you, because your undergrad was at Hampton, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now, were you track and field as well?
Yes, I actually had a full scholarship to Hampton University. I did cross country and track, so I was a distance runner. So I did all of the long races that they had. That's what I signed up to do.
Okay. The reason I asked is because, of course, and I'm not sure if you know Paula Jackson, we interviewed her a couple of months ago, which is now Associate Athletic Director out at Hampton. So, and she came she graduated Southern University and Clark Atlanta, but she's now at Hampton. So, yeah, I know. It's funny how all these people will cross paths eventually. We know. Eventually we'll all cross paths. But, again, and it's just like you said, it's a great thing that you're doing. I guess I'm stuck on the fact that you said you started out volunteering. So that must mean you had a really driven passion to volunteer and waited out to transition. What was the transition like going into a HBCU?
I guess it was different from actually running for a HBCU to working at a HBCU. It was kind of different, but at the same time, I kind of, it wasn't that different. It was different, but it wasn't different. I mean, I liked it, just like I liked running at Hampton. I mean, I love working at Southern. Yeah, so like it's hard to explain. It's like it was because I was at Hampton, then I graduated, and then all the rest of the places that I coached at was kind of a mixed or geared more towards predominantly Caucasian. So when I got to Southern, it was kind of like I'm back.
You're back
You know
home.
what I mean? Like it was kind of like, yeah, back at home. Yeah. So it kind of was like, I'm back at Hampton again. So like I said, it was different, I guess, because I was seeing it from another side, a different standpoint than being an athlete. I was seeing it from me coaching athletes. So that part was a little bit different. I was on administration, the staff side, but everything else was the same. The way that the process of everything, and the people, of course. And then being down here, I guess it was a little more Southern hospitality than up north. I would say it was different, but it was the same at the same time.
Yes, indeed. And I have a daughter that likes to run. She likes to run 5K. So, she's only in 5th grade. So I'm going to need you to stick around because I have a good feeling that she's probably going to end up being a Jag. Unfortunately for me, she likes to run. I think track and field, distance running is going to be her thing. So I think that would be so neat if years from now you end up coaching my child and you end up making me wear a Southern Jaguar track and field shirt. That's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to have to do it because I'm going to have to support my child and support the program because that's what us fathers do. But I think what you're doing, I just think it's great. I think you, like Hale said, the passion you had to go from volunteering to venturing off away from home, to coming back home to coach HBCU sports. I think that's just where God wanted you to be, to impart the wisdom that you've had from your different destinations to help grow the track and field and cross country programs at Southern. So I can't wait to see what you do this year. I'm gonna try to come to some of your meets if I can. We'll look forward to, because I'm in Baton Rouge, so look forward to meeting you myself.
Okay. That sounds great. That'll definitely be great. We start our season in January at LSU. So I believe we're at LSU twice during indoor, and then we travel out to Texas and Alabama. And then we come back to we also go to McNeese too in Lake Charles a couple of times during indoor, and then outdoor we're at LSU again, McNeese, and then Texas and Alabama and Florida as well. So yeah, we have a nice number of home meets. So yeah, that'd definitely be great if you could stop by and check us out.
Most definitely.
Now, where in Alabama will y'all be?
The Birmingham Crossplex.
Okay. So I can drive over to Birmingham because I'm in Atlanta, so I can drive over to Birmingham. Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, that's not far. Yeah, that's not far for you either. Yeah, so that would be great. Yeah, so we get you in Baton Rouge, and then we can have you in Birmingham. Yeah, that would be great. That would be wonderful. The team would definitely love it.
Yes, indeed. So talk to us about some of your athletes. Who should we look forward to showing out this year? Who are some of your stars on both sides?
We brought in a nice number of freshmen. Again, last year we brought in about 15 freshmen. This year we have close to the same amount. And our stars, so I'm very, very excited to see what some of the freshmen do this year. But our well-known stars are the upperclassmen. So you have Isaac Brown, who runs the 4 and the 800. We have Daryl Nettles, who runs the 1 and the 2. He's actually from Baton Rouge, but he's a senior this year. And we have Jamira Russ, who is a thrower. So we're looking for her to go to nationals actually this year. And she's from La Plaza, I believe, in Louisiana. And then we have Teralicia Mercadale, who's from New Orleans. She's a junior. She runs the 2 and a 4. And we're looking for her to definitely go to regionals and nationals too, if possible. I'm trying to think if there anyone else we missed it.
Yes, indeed. I can't wait to see these athletes in action, and hopefully get to see them victorious. And when they do run, I'm gonna have to make sure I check the schedule to see if I can make the hometown meet, so I can see this. Because I've actually never seen a track and field meet in person since high school. So I think that'll be fun. Well,
Really?
actually, since college, I went to a few at Valley when I was an undergrad to see a few friends of mine who ran, but I haven't been in a long time. I think it'll be fun for me, and definitely it would be good to get some coverage of you on Black College Experience winning and showing that, hey, we're not going to back down from anyone. If you're LSU, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, it doesn't matter. It's just good to see that our athletes competing and giving their all.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we definitely install in our student athletes. We don't want them to be afraid of anyone. Like you said, it's anyone's day, anyone's day. The number one person, the number one time in the world, may not actually do that on that day, So, yeah, it's anyone's game. When you step on the line, it's, all's fair. You just got to bring your A game each and every day.
All right, so like you talked about some of your freshmen. Like, so what is your recruiting footprint? I mean, do you want to key around Louisiana? Do you like stepping out of state? Do you foresee any out of the United States athletes coming in to infuse some talent into your programs?
Yes. We actually have 2 athletes this year from El Dorado, Kenya, 2 male distance runners. One came this year for fall 2017, then the other one will be joining us next semester to start the indoor and outdoor season. They are actually branching out internationally to get my runners as well. But no, we love recruiting from Louisiana. Definitely love recruiting from Louisiana and Texas. Those 2 are our biggest states to recruit from. But we go all around. We don't have or we don't say we don't take certain states or look at certain states. So I actually recruited, when I first came down here, I recruited a girl from Philadelphia, from where I'm from. So she's down here, and we have a guy from New York. We have a girl from Connecticut. We have 2 guys from Las Vegas. So yeah, we recruit all around. We just, all the way around. As long as they, they love Southern, they have the talent and they have what we're looking for. Yeah, we definitely will take them.
And I'm also reading. I'm checking out your bio. You have contributed to a total of 9 MEAC team championships as a long distance runner.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So
it was a lot at Hampton. There was a lot of hard work.
You see, she was brash when I asked her to take us back. You see, she didn't mention that part. She didn't mention her accolades. You notice she didn't mention her accolades. So since we're here, you may as well talk about them.
Okay. So yeah, we
because Derek
had a
dug
pretty
them
good
up.
team.
Derek gonna force you to talk about them.
We had a pretty good team at Hampton. I loved my experience at Hampton. I believe that it taught me a lot as a person, and then even more, going into the career that I'm in. But yeah, we had, out of 12 championships that we could have won, we won 9. So we lost my freshman year. We lost our cross country championship, and then I believe we lost again my junior year, and then we lost 1 outdoor championship. So yeah, it was. How would I say it? It was fun. It was very fun, and it was a very great achievement. I still have the rings, the championship rings. I wear them every now and then.
I was going to ask you about that because with you having a championship pedigree as an athlete, I was going to ask you, do you show your championship rings to your athletes so they can see? Oh, Coach wasn't no slouch. I'm just not out here just telling y'all to run this and run that. I won. Here's my hardware. Get you some. Do you use that to motivate them?
I did when I first came to Southern, I actually haven't worn them in probably a year or two. So the new underclassmen haven't seen them yet, but the juniors and seniors, they've definitely seen them. But yeah, they joke, "Oh, Coach Darden, you're showing off," and things like that. But it's it's not showing off. It's just reminding them, where they could be. Where they could be if they put in the blood, sweat, and tears. Because it was blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not gonna lie. But looking back on it, I wouldn't change anything. I loved my experience at Hampton University. But yeah, it was a lot of work. And like you were saying, the small schools or HBCUs having Olympians. Hampton had a lot of Olympians within the last 2 to 3 Olympics.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, that just goes to show that you don't have to be at a huge school. You just have to have the right determination, and the right genetics too, because that plays a big part as well.
Yes.
You just got to go hard.
So one last thing, and then I'm gonna shut up. Notice that you have received some certifications from USA Track and Field. So talk to us about that process of earning those certifications, and how do you utilize them in your coaching philosophy and strategy?
So my USA Track and Field certifications, they're usually given out throughout the year. Like, you could take the classes throughout the year. So I, of course, my first one was distance, because I was a distance runner, so I went to take that first. And it was very informative. It was a lot of things that I, on the science part, things that I didn't know as an athlete. I just did what my coach told me. So being in those classes and listening to those instructors who are also great coaches, distance coaches, I learned a lot. So my first year, I put that towards my my coaching. I was coaching. I believe I was the head coach for a AAU club then, the head cross country coach. So that was very great. I utilized it there with the kids ages 8 to 18. And they did pretty well. We had a lot of them show out at the national meets. And then I went to coach at Westchester University, where I became a sprint coach. And I honestly did not know anything about coaching sprints. So I had one of my friends, or former teammates from high school. He was a sprinter, and he knew a lot about coaching. So he helped me the first year. And then I realized, like, hey, I can't keep going like this. So then that led me to get my certification in sprints, hurdles, and relays. So it was kind of like a demand for it. I didn't know what position I would get, so it was like just cover everything. So through those courses that I've taken, I learned about every event, how to coach every event to some degree. So this it helped a lot. When I was at Newman, I was the only coach. So I coached javelin, I coached discus, I coached long jump, which I've never coached that before I was at Newman. And then, of course, I coached the sprints and the distance. So those certificates, those courses that I took, they've been extremely helpful to me. And every young coach that I meet, I suggest that they do the same. They actually do the same. Now, it is costly, though. It is costly, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. And I met a lot of young coaches and old coaches in the process of taking those courses as well. So, that was part of, networking as well that I got out of those courses.
Well, that's awesome. Kels, you all better not let her go. She's a multifaceted track and field threat. I mean, she's learning specialties and techniques that she didn't even use as an athlete. So, I mean, when you have a coach that can coach so many different sports, that is definitely an asset. If you ever decide to leave Southern, you can head on up to Edabina. We'll love to have you up there. We'll love to have you up there.
Thank you.
So,
I don't think she's trying to head up to Italy. I don't think she's trying to leave to come to Valley. I just don't see that happening at this moment.
Valley already got a Hampton connection. You know what I'm saying? So she feel right.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You got family up there.
That's it.
Trying to
I guess the final thing I'll ask you is, what do you see for the future? What do you want to see in the future of your athletes?
I would like to see SWAC championships. You know, bringing the championship back to Southern, because you know, when I came down here, I've learned the great things about Southern, you know, and how powerful they were. You know, they were a real powerhouse. I was told that SWAC stood for Southern Wins Another Championship.
Oh,
that's what SWAC stood for.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what I was told. So yeah, I just want to bring that back. I definitely want to bring that back to Southern. You know, as one of the coaches on the staff, be part of that. And I would like to see, you know, the student athletes, you know, have something to be proud of. When I was winning championships, you know, it built up my confidence, you know, because, you know, working so hard at something, you know, achieving your goals, that's really something to be proud of. And it's nothing like seeing a smile, you know, at the end of those 4 years on your athlete's face, in addition to them getting their diploma, which is the most important. We tell them that as well. But, you know, at the championship meet, or, you know, at nationals or regionals, you know, it's nothing like seeing them, you know, that smile, and them coming to you saying, "Coach, thank you for everything you've done for me," and them, you know, telling you how much you helped change their life or mold their life. So I think that's the best part of coaching. And that's what I definitely want to see that at Southern. I want to see Southern be great again. Definitely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, Southern wins another championship. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was told SWAC stood for. I said, okay, I like that.
That's how it's told. Yeah. That's how it's believed. That's it. That's how it's believed.
I'm going to have to disagree with you ladies on that. I'm going to have to disagree.
Hey, however we can get it, we'll take it. Well, Coach Darden, that's all I have. Derek, do you have anything else?
No, unless she decides she wants to leave Southern and go to Itabena, you know.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to do that, no. I don't think that's anywhere in the cards. Well, Coach Darden, we really do appreciate you for calling in, taking time out to spend time with us on Black College Experience. Derek's favorite words would be, you're no longer a stranger, now you're family. You're no longer a guest. You're welcome to call in at any time.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate you guys, you know, having me on the show.
And we definitely will be checking you out in the upcoming season.
Yes, indeed. Okay. I'm going to talk noise. If my devil ass beats you, I will talk noise. So don't be running and hiding if we do get a win. Now, I'm going to hide if we lose. I'm going to hide if we lose. But if we win, I'm going to come talk noise.
We enjoy the trash talk. We definitely enjoy the trash talk. But, yeah, the schedule, I don't think it's up right now. I think Coach White's still editing things, but it'll be up within the next couple of weeks. It'll definitely be up by the end of November.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Coach D, and look forward to seeing your athletes in action.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Same to you.
You too. Good night, Coach.
Good night.
Oh, Kels, she's awesome.
She is
awesome.
Yeah, I know. I really know how to pick them now. Yeah, I know how to pick them.
All of that knowledge that she has, of track and field, you see, I'm trying to steal her. I'm trying to steal her. Trying to let her know that, hey, you're needed in it a bit. No disrespect to our current track and field coach. I'm just having a little fun. But when you have a coach like that that's dedicated to her profession as far as her craft of distance running, then she adds events to her repertoire that she did not compete in, and is able to get athletes to perform at a high level. That is the epitome of an awesome coach. Epitome of it. So before we run out of time, I want to run through these last couple scores. Kels?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, we're going to run through these last couple of scores before we run out of here. Running down the SIAC, Morehouse. Now, Kels, Who won? Because I see two different scores. On one sheet, the SIAC says Morehouse won. On another sheet, they say Benedict won. The final score was 29-26, homecoming for Morehouse. But I don't necessarily know who won because it's saying that one says Benedict won, the other says Morehouse won. Do you know?
Last I got was Benedict. I was over at Clark, so the last I got was Benedict won. Not a good thing for your homecoming.
Exactly.
But
we defended our home field.
But
to run things down, Tuskegee, after defeating Jackson State, drops to Kentucky State 26-21. Lane defeats Miles 23-13. Albany State. No, let's see. I think these scores are wrong. Clark won, right?
Yeah, Clark won.
Yeah, it's this.
Yeah, Benedict. Yeah, it was right. Benedict won 29-26 with two overtimes.
And they have on this sheet that Albany State defeated Clark 44-36. But I know I saw Clark's stats. The quarterback for Clark showed
won.
out. He acted a donkey on that football field this past weekend.
Yeah.
Let's see here in the MEAC.
North Carolina A&T.
They are still undefeated. Hampton, also undefeated, defeats Florida A&M 31-27. Savannah State drops to Charleston Southern 52-27. And Delaware State got their first win of the year, defeating South Carolina State. Coach, you said North Carolina A&T stays undefeated, defeating Bethune-Cookman 24-20. Morgan State gets blown out by Howard 39-14. In the CIAA, we had a lot of action in the CIAA in football. And Winston-Salem State defeats Livingstone 42-14. Johnson C. Smith defeats Shaw 13-10. Virginia State defeats Lincoln, Pennsylvania 73-21 to remain undefeated. Virginia Union drops to Bowie State 40-22. Fayetteville State defeats St. Aug's by a field goal 34-31. And that's all the football scores. And I want to, before we go, I want to give a shout out to that Xavier women's volleyball team. They are sitting at 18-2 and are undefeated in the GCAC. They are showing out. Congratulations to those young ladies. They're steaming their way to a GCAC volleyball championship. And just want to make sure we let everyone know that those young ladies are undefeated in their conference. That's all I have for tonight, Kels. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Before we get out of here again, we also want to, again, like I said, I want to make sure everybody knows that Langston also is undefeated. They are also still in the top poll. So, I know we see North Carolina A&T climbing, we see Grambling climbing, but we do not want to forget in the polls as well as Langston. We don't want to forget any of those schools because all of them hold their own match. They hold their own light. So, again, props out to these teams that are still climbing, still doing their thing. And that's all I have.
But one more thing before I get out of here. Got to say this. Congratulations to North, since you brought up North Carolina A&T. Lamar Reynard has been added to the Payton Award list due to his breakout season. He has thrown for over 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns while only throwing 3 interceptions. He's completing a sizzling 68.5% of his passes. So we want to make sure we give him his shine because he's doing on the football field. He has taken the place of Tariq Cohen as the shining star for the Aggies. Now that's all I have for the night. We'll be back with you next week with more Black College Experience, and I'm going to be happy again. I'm going to predict right now Jack State will be still 0-8, and my Delta Devils will be celebrating a victory over those Tigers from Jackson.
And that is it. Once again, happy homecoming to the Prairie View Panthers this week coming up. Also to the Grambling State Tigers. It is homecoming week for them. Also, none other than Magic City Classic, Alabama A&M, Alabama State. So I will be over in Birmingham this weekend coming up. To everybody celebrating their homecomings, classics, Have a great week and continue to cheer on every sport, soccer, baseball, basketball, football. It's all coming up. And that's our time. See you next week. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music.